Okay, I'm recording now. So, yeah, we can start through the challenge, I guess. Let me see, my screen's on. Or this was the PTQ or RCQ, I guess, on Saturday.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know if it's. I think we'll start like one round at a time. I mean, I probably like this call probably won't last more than an hour or two. Like we probably won't go through the whole PTQ. Uh, Um,
Yeah,
but
sounds good.
But yeah, I don't know if there's like any particularly interesting matches. There's some weird ones. So yeah, pretty obvious keep. I probably shouldn't even say that.
You are not, in fact, currently sharing your screen
Oh,
through
okay.
Discord.
Wait, let me turn that on then. Okay.
Okay.
Um,
You're sharing your full screen, and yeah, now it's empty show.
so yeah, so nothing really happened. I mean,
This hand
um,
seems like it's a keep everywhere. I don't know if we knew this was a mirror, but seems like you just keep everywhere.
yeah, it's like probably one of the easiest keeps ever. Like one thing I realized from the last video is I'm gonna try and not say anything too obvious because I could be like, oh, like maybe if it's open deck list and you know you're playing it's like blue white control and the removal is dead or something. But I found from watching my own video like when I was saying stuff that was too obvious, it was kind of grating. So I'm gonna
Gotcha.
try and like not say anything that's like too obvious. I don't know. Like here, yeah, you can have a small decision to like, oh, do you want to hold up the removal? But I mean, I don't, but there's like so many reasons it's like not a big deal. Like there's someone or like let me like I don't know. Do you think that's close at all? Like whether you should
No, I
play
don't think
left?
it does. I think if you had a cantrip so that you could fire, like if you had consider in hand and potentially could fiery impulse their shredder, then maybe it's closer. But as is, you just have to play your own shredder. I don't think it's close.
Yeah, I didn't really think it's close. Like there's a few things you could say, but probably not worth like going into it here. This was kind of interesting, but I thought I didn't want to block. So that's why I attacked, which could be wrong. So I mean, not like it's not a big deal. Like you could be like, oh, you can threaten to block, or like maybe I don't know, maybe they return an arc light. Maybe they shouldn't have attacked because they could like return an arc light and then this can block. Um,
Yeah, I feel like one damage is the blocking an arc light is why I would not attack in this position.
yeah, I
Also,
don't,
like your hand is quite good, right? You have this pieces. They need a pieces of their own to keep parity. If they don't have pieces, you're ahead. If you do, it's still an even game. Like this is a good
yeah,
position for you. I don't really want to get aggroed out
I
somehow, you know?
I didn't really think about Arclight Phoenix. I just thought about the ledger attacking, so I probably should have just yeah, I just forgot about the fact they could get back Arclight Phoenix anyway. So, but yeah, like so that was kind of just like a punt or whatever. Um, they,
They
they
take
got back.
opt. It's interesting that they don't take trespass. And they don't play the opt. This is really weird. I feel like trespass is so important in mirrors that you might kind of have to take it there, but maybe the rest of their hand is non-functional. It probably means that their hand is weak that they're taking opt.
For sure. I mean, there's a few things to say. I mean, one thing is this is an open decklist tournament, but
Hmm.
I feel like a decent like some amount of the pick lock lists only play one time walk. So then it would be even more important. For example,
Right.
if you're playing against if they have time walks, you could maybe think they have a time walk. You could also maybe think they have like cruises. It was obviously interesting because they didn't connive, but I also had my own shredder, so they might value denying my shredder for some reason. They might have spell pierce up, whatever. They might even have
Yeah.
fiery impulse that want to like cast like
So it's hard to make like a hard read there, but it definitely gives us a lot of information about what is potentially in their hand. Like it's kind of unlikely that they have an Arclight Phoenix in hand because otherwise they probably would have connived,
well, I
right?
guess the easiest solution is like if they have fiery impulse, they have spell mastery,
Hmm.
and there's a good chance like we reveal the second pieces, right? So there's like they have a pretty they can like fiery impulse this if they don't do it. Like, do you see what I mean? So
Yeah, yeah.
kind of like so they might just have that. So I was thinking, oh, they probably like the main thing I was thinking like, oh, they probably have fiery impulse. Like that was what I thought when they
Hmm.
didn't connive. I didn't think that much about this because it's like people have different evaluations of time walk. or what or whatever, and also maybe they have like 2 treasure cruises in hand.
Well,
But
it's
yeah,
also just like another thing where you're going to be much better in this long game if they have less trespasses in deck. So you're fine like playing more defensively, being less aggro down the road.
yeah, that's true.
And that's part of why I would be inclined to just Lightning Axe here. I don't really want to let them connive. I would Lightning Axe and then play pieces of the puzzle, probably. That's my line here. I don't know what you end up doing, though.
I
Like,
think
I
what
don't
I
want
wanted
to
to
trade
do was
connive.
I wanted to fiery. Well, I wanted to fiery impulse this because I think what I wanted to do was like opt fiery impulse. I think that was my plan. Like I was gonna trigger connive and then respond to the connive by impulsing, which could be wrong, but it felt like because this can also be defensive because like this way if they like tap out for another shredder, I can keep the axe. I don't have to discard any cantrips.
Would you disagree that we're, like, very ahead right now? I feel very ahead.
Yeah, I think we're ahead. Well, so what did he say you wanted to do? You wanted to axe and pass or what?
I want to axe and then play pieces. Basically, I just don't want to let them connive because I feel so ahead in this possession that I feel like if we start trading connive triggers, that gives them more outs, kind of. So, like, if we can,
I mean,
I'd rather not trade connives.
if you do that line,
And I'm
can you
playing
get punished by like you axe their shredder and then they go like spell pierce pieces, untap, play
well,
another shredder, and then their
they
shredder.
can't really they can't have both Fiery Impulse and Spell Pierce. If they do have the Spell Pierce, we still have 3 opts to fix our hand afterwards, and our Ledger Shredder is now out of Fiery Impulse range.
Well,
So,
I'm just the easiest way that could go wrong is like I'm just saying with your line, the easiest way that can go wrong, you like let's say they spell pierce the pieces,
mhm.
then or even what like maybe your pieces misses, but that's like pretty low chance, I guess, but like very low chance. But like to put it like it's probably like 2 or 3%, but um, so okay, so we play lightning axe pieces. Part of why it's conservative to hold the axe is then they can untap play shredder, and then we don't have a clean answer anymore. And I don't like.
That's, yeah.
So I mean, I think it's close. Like I'll just thought the fact that they had impulse, you can think about did you want to play some sort of like weird games, but I thought it was like to dance around their impulse. But I didn't think it was like I thought it was probably too hard to try and like weave around the impulse.
Well, so
Um,
wait, that's actually another possibility here that I think is very reasonable is shock pieces pass. They can't Fiery Impulse you because then you'll trigger connive and get out of range, and you have Fiery Impulse on their turn if they connive. That also seems kind of good.
I mean, I was pretty interested in trying to pieces next turn so they can't spell pierce it. Um, if like maybe they only have 1 or 2 spell pierce. Um, but I felt like
Yeah, so
there's not really a
spell
rush to
pierce.
pieces now. Like we can just pieces next turn, and then we have 5 mana.
That's
Um,
true.
and
I don't know.
also,
Like I generally try to play my pieces sooner rather than later, so that I have more flexibility on future turns. Um,
kind of, but it's like I feel like this is a situation. It's not like they're gonna thought seize it. It's not like they're gonna counter it. Like we can just cast it next
sure.
turn. Do you know what I mean? And if we're gonna have, it's not like we can get back a Phoenix this turn anyway. Um, so I mean, if it was open deck list and they have like 0 pierce, it's different. But also, there's like some like indications that they could have pierce, like the fact they didn't connive main phase, the fact they didn't take time walk. Um,
I guess
I
yeah, that's probably a difference
I
between our views here. I feel like if they do spell pierce us, that's just completely fine. Like you have 5 cards in graveyard at that point and 3 opts. Like you can't really fizzle from that point. You're going to see so many cards. These opts are going to really fix your hand.
well, if I pieces, well, then what am I gonna do? Like axe discard my impulse? Like let's say they spell
No,
pierce,
no, no.
then
You have spell mastery. That's the other thing. Is like if you end up impulsing on their turn, you have spell mastery. So you get to hold the lightning axe.
yeah, but
Like
then like
playing
if they
pieces no matter
untap, they
what.
still get a
Spell mastery.
like. I mean, you can pass with fiery impulse up, but like let's say you cast pieces, pass. Um, I mean, I guess you can untap, but you're giving them an opportunity to connive. I mean, I don't value them conniving once that highly. Like, I think it's fine to let them connive. But what I mean is, if you decide to pass with Fiery Impulse, then they can go like, I guess if they connive on their turn, you can Fiery Impulse their Shredder. But
Yeah, they still always have the Lightning Axe. So like even if they have say Spell Pierce for your Fiery Impulse on their turn, you're still not gonna die to their Shredder.
but why? Like also, if we opt, we can like hit an Arclight Phoenix to connive away this turn because we can like cast all these like we can opt in response to our connive triggers. Like, what's
Yeah,
the
I mean, I think this is a pretty interesting spot. It feels hard to know what's like definitively right here. You know, with like there's so many things that could be happening, and especially with closed deck list.
yeah? I mean,
For
I the
me,
way
the biggest factor in my mind is I don't want to let them connive, so I would try to play in a way that they don't get to do that.
yeah, I was probably saying too much random stuff. I mean, first of all, if you're playing a tournament, you can't really tank that long here. But the most obvious
Right.
things I was thinking about is like, okay, what are like the most like obvious, does that like I just didn't feel like I really needed to cast pieces. I did think it's pretty bad if they spell pierce it. Like, um,
Mhm.
and then I was like obviously thinking about the cantrips because I was like, okay, I'd rather fire. Like I was like, oh, I'd rather Fiery Impulse than use Lightning Axe, but I don't have Spell Mastery. So then I was like, oh, I
Yep.
can respond to the connive triggers. I was like, I would rather like give them a connive trigger so I can hold my Lightning Axe. That was kind of my feeling. I thought there's some
Yep.
percent of games you could lose because like you just don't find a treasure cruise or the extra card matters. I mean, it's close, but my line of thinking was basically like it's. I actually thought it was very conservative to try an impulse because then you get to hold the axe for a disaster scenario.
Yeah, no, I think I'm with you. It's definitely wrong to lead on Lightning Axe here. I think the line is either what you did or lead on pieces.
And I
Like
just
you
don't want to.
definitely don't want to use Lightning
Yeah,
Axe this turn.
I just didn't really like feel like a need to pieces here. Like if they had zero pierce, it would be easier. And
Mm-hmm.
maybe people are trending towards zero pierce, but I just like I didn't really like. What if I decide to like pieces? They pierce it, and then they like have a second phoenix, and then like now I'm under a ton of pressure, and they pierce my like. I just didn't really see a reason to pieces, especially like I was like I can just pieces next turn. That was kind of my thinking there because like I'm not but I don't want to spend too much time on this turn, so.
Well, so one other thing is like it's unlikely for us to get a Phoenix back this turn, right? So if anything, it can be nice to hold all these cantrips for next turn when we are much more likely to have the Phoenix.
Well, I
Right?
would disagree with that for two reasons. Number one is next turn after we pieces, we're gonna
Mhm.
like if we hit a land drop, we're gonna have 5 mana, and it's like pretty easy to like return the Phoenix when you have pieces and 5 mana. And number
But
two,
aren't we testing all these ops this turn? So
well
like, there's
they've
really no
drawn new
guarantee that we're
cards.
gonna have. Okay.
Like you think I'm not gonna find like a 1 mana cantrip?
No,
I'm
you
drawing like ten
probably are.
cards.
You probably are,
I mean,
but
I'm looking at like
sometimes you don't.
I'm looking at like 10 cards, right? Like triple opt looks at 6 cards, and then pieces looks at 5 cards plus ledger connive. Like,
Wait. If your top card right now was sleight of hand, would you top that? Because I feel like I would bottom that.
well, no, but
So
like then on the second or third, I mean, probably not, but that's kind of like complicated. But what I mean is, you're like insanely, you still have cards in like you're I don't know how to say it, but like you're so likely to have like a treasure cruise or an opt like on like you're just what I'm trying to say is basically you're so likely to be able to return a phoenix if you hit with the fifth land next turn.
that's true. Yeah.
Especially since like it's hard for your hand to be bad because you have ledger shredder and you're like casting a bunch of ops. Um,
Hmm.
So yeah, and I think and the second aspect, I think you are pretty high chance to find a Phoenix. You have like triple opt in hand. Like you can respond to the connive trigger with more ops. Obviously, it gets dicey in case they like spell pierce or impulse. There's like some consideration there. But I'm also if they spell pierce my impulse, I'm actually kind of fine with that because I can just axe their shredder next turn anyway, and then they can't spell pierce my time walk.
So you see like 5 cards here, and so that you're like about 40% to hit a Phoenix, basically.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty high, like half the time. Like imagine if you're, I think that's a pretty high number. Also, like you're
Yeah.
not, you can draw like I mean, I think 40% is pretty high. Like if I had like a revolver and it's like 40%, I shoot you and you're dead. That's like pretty high.
Yeah.
Um, and like you can also like draw consider and melee. Here it was like I don't want to talk about this like too like subtle stuff too much. Like oh, I could like hold the land in case I draw a tap land, or I could like play this land now so that I can like cast more spells with the connive on the trigger. I don't want to talk about that too much because I feel like it's probably not that like I just chose at random. I don't really have anything to say there, but
Sure.
I don't know exactly why. I think I was like, oh, if they spell pierce, I want to axe it, but no, I actually I really don't care if they spell pierce this. I think because spell pierce is important to fight over time walk and I have axe anyway. They decide to impulse my guy, then whatever. I think I discarded a lightning axe probably. I'd be surprised if I didn't. I see a cruise. I think I decided to keep it probably because it can drop me
I would
lands.
top
And,
it.
yeah,
Yeah. Especially since you like didn't hit fifth land here, right? So I definitely keep cruise. Oh, and they hit 2 phoenixes.
oops, I'm going kind of fast. Well, so I started by cruising. Oh shit, do I lose this game?
Wait, did you draw? If you drew land for turn, then I would probably start by playing pieces of the puzzle. You drew this out of wire
Yeah,
for turn, it seems like.
yeah, I could have pieces there. I think that I remember thinking that it was close, and I was like, whatever, I'll just cruise first. But I couldn't. I guess piecing first. I think why I cruised first is so I'd have more information what to take with pieces. But I don't know. Is there like a huge difference there between piecing first and cruising first?
No, I guess I just have like the heuristic of try to cast pieces sooner rather than later, you know? Uh,
Yeah,
but
I couldn't really think of like a big reason to do one or the other, so I just casted that.
oh, no, wait, actually, I know what the reason is. The reason is if you hit some trespass stuff off your pieces, and then maybe you don't want to burn your graveyard.
Yeah, but
That's the
my
reason.
graveyard's already going to be huge anyway because I'm going to cast pieces.
Yeah.
Like
Hmm.
I don't know. There's probably some reason, but I couldn't like really think of a reason. I think I thought of like some random fringe stuff here, like but what I mean I could see pieces being better. Also worth noting they have mountain. If they had island, I would probably
Yeah, it's more interesting if they had an island up. But as is, it probably seems fine either way.
yeah. Let's see. I'd probably pieces here looking for Phoenix. I don't find it because I'm really unlucky. I decided to pass. Don't think that's too complicated. Um, I decided to impulse one of these. That doesn't seem too
I agree.
crucial,
Yeah.
probably. This was interesting. 7 cards and cast pick lock. Um, there's not really much to. Okay, so here I think I just lead with a 1 mana cantrip to try and find like time walk or whatever.
Yes, I agree. What's the alternative? Like lead on Prismari command? I don't think
No,
that's
there's like
too good.
nothing. I guess
Yeah.
I have a lot of cards in hand. I don't know. I just said it to sound educational. I mean, you could argue about doing slider opt, but I feel like this video will take too long if we talk about stuff like that in a random spot.
Oh, this is
Um,
interesting though.
I mean, I don't, okay. Um, I mean, I might have taken cruise here to be honest, because I'm like pretty easy able to,
No,
uh,
I would lean towards Cruise as well because you have like enough stuff to do with your mana. I just really don't want to die this turn, right? So feels like it's safer to
it's also
cruise than to
better
pieces.
against spell pierce too. I kind of want to pass so that I can just like kill their creatures on their combat and then try and go again next turn. And we have enough delve for time walk, so we're not that concerned about delve. Yeah, cruise is probably better here. Let's see if I go with it. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. I don't know why I
Wait,
don't
what?
cast it. Oh, I remember what I
What?
was thinking now. I mean, this is kind. I was thinking about forking the Prismari command, which is probably sus.
I would have definitely cast this Treasure Cruise. I don't know about
Yeah,
this.
for some. Well, the reason I did this is I remember for some reason I thought that if I fork Prismari command, then it's locked up. But to be honest, they could spell pierce that, so I should have
I
probably
mean, it's not
cruised.
even locked up. Like your trespasses could just be deep in your deck, you know, and like you don't have a single Phoenix still.
Yeah, but this
So
like would
it's
dig me like forking time walk could. I mean, forking Prismari can dig me deep or
yeah. I'm just saying like your time walks could be your bottom 10 cards, you know, and then
I mean, it's not if I return a Phoenix, it's not like that good right now. Like obviously it's better, but yeah. I mean, this could be wrong. Like, I mean, this is a kind of situation where in paper, like you probably can't tank too much, or even in a tournament because of clock issues.
yes.
Um, I don't know. For some reason, I was like, oh, I was just like, oh, fork time walk, fork Prismari seems good. Then I'm like, wait, they could counter it. I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of sus. But also there's
Yeah,
like some
I don't.
ultra defensive stuff. Yeah,
If we
it's like
treasure cruise, we still have Lightning Axe up and Prismari Command up.
yeah,
So
this you can have
if you
triple removal because you can like fork make a treasure lightning
yeah,
axe.
yeah.
I mean, this could have been sus, but I don't. I
Like, just the main thing is that once you stop playing during your main phase, drawing Phoenixes becomes bad, and before it was good. Like, if we draw Phoenixes,
well,
then
I don't know if
Phoenixes would be
Phoenix is
good.
that useful here because they have 7 cards in hand. They cast pick lock.
They probably
So
have removal, yeah.
I mean, yeah. So I mean, it's not that it's bad, but I was like, oh, I don't value it that highly because I'm like, I just need to find time walk to win. Um,
Sure.
I just thought this was the most offensive. I mean, I don't think it's worth talking about too much here because like I could see Cruz being better. I just did this because I thought it was the most offensive and I was trying to play quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought so that's why I did this. Like it could be wrong, but that was my logic. They Prismari my face, and they discard Arc Light, so it's actually getting kind of scary here. Luckily, they tapped out though. If they had 1 mana up, I would have had to tank way more. Like you see this, I actually like. I think if I cast Cruz, I could have died. I would have died if I mean, you see what I'm saying?
You
I
would have
needed
died if
triple
you
removal.
didn't get Phoenixes, I guess, right?
Well,
Like,
I would have to hit
if the card.
multiple Phoenix because like they probably just have Fire Impulse. They could have casted over Consider.
But they used. Oh, the. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess it works out fine. I don't know. It's just. I don't think I would have made that play, but I'm not sure. Because I also agree that, like, the most important thing is you can't tank in this spot, and all the lines kind of feel okay.
Yeah, as you see, I got max rewarded for my ultra defensive play. So yeah, just trying to find it. Oh, found it. But my hand's kind of bad now, which is funny. I
I
mean, it's
mean, you
just
still have to take it over the axe there. Oh, wow. So lucky. Wait, can you even cast it?
yeah, I have exactly enough mana.
Okay.
I mean, there was some like discussion there, but I feel like I don't want to take 1 million.
No, that's fine. Yeah.
Like there was kind
You
of
definitely have
close
to
with
take
the
trespass.
ledger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Next game. Okay. See, it's already 20 minutes for one game.
Yeah, I mean, I thought there was like one interesting decision. That piece's turn is, I think, really interesting. Probably if you asked a lot of different people, you would get some different answers. I took
Yeah.
a screenshot of that. I'll probably post it somewhere later.
Yeah.
Think
I mean,
interesting.
I didn't think it was that. Obviously, it's like weird because we're like the game started slipping away, but I just thought there's like no reason to get spell pierce there. But I don't know. Maybe that's not that interesting to say. But anyway, pretty obvious keep.
Yes.
Ta ta ta. Just sleight of handed and took a land.
What was the other card there? Was it a dual land or was it an island? I
It was
couldn't
like a
tell.
non-land. I think it was like a cantrip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If my hands are like this at the PT all day, then I'll feel good. They have Prismari command in, which was weird, but it's not like horrible in the mirror, but okay. Wow, my hand's good. No wonder I won. Not much to say here.
I guess
Don't
it's
do,
interesting whether we play this pathway on red or blue. I mean, we probably play it on red.
you think you would probably play it on red? Why? Do you think you need double red? Like we already have opt and sleight of hand. Like if I got a Spire Bluff, I mean I don't know. I guess
Well, I also have this lightning axe that I really want to not get locked out of.
like I
Because you're
just
going to play
play
a
it on
land
red
before
next
you
turn.
cantrip, right?
I just thought. I mean, yeah, maybe I want to play red, but since we had opt and sleight of hand in hand, I didn't want to get choked on blue mana at some point. But yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I probably like would try not to tank about that too much in the tournament because it would probably take up time. But I don't know. The pick lock.
Yeah, you can't think on it. I would. It seems fine to play it on red there, I think.
I mean, I play
Wait,
on
we
red
didn't
here.
discard Bari? Oh, you did play it on red. What did we
I discarded
discard? We
Galvanic.
discarded. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I really don't like missing land drops in the mirror. I shouldn't. I should delete that part out of the video. It's mirror alpha. Hitting land drops is. I mean, I say that like it's a joke, but I watched some people play the mirror and they were like missing land drops
No, I
trash.
agree. You just have to. Yeah. This deck cares so much about land drops in general.
Dude, don't say too much in the video. You might give up too much free advice. Okay, yeah, I didn't really think there's a reason to slam pieces here, so I just pass.
What is their hand? No, it's there's no way you can play pieces here. It's insane.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
that's what I mean. I didn't even think twice about it. I mean, yeah, so
You know, probably attacking is good. I don't know. Maybe it's kind of close.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, my life is higher than
It's
theirs. I
good
have
pressure them since they have like more going on here.
yeah.
I guess.
I, this is kind of. I decided to opt in response to this. I don't. Do you disagree with that? It might have been wrong because if I dispute on their turn, I can get a connive trigger. I don't really know.
Well, we're gonna dispute this, right?
Yeah. I think I was planning to dispute this. That's why I opted in response.
If this was like a real mirror with pieces of the puzzle, then probably I would pass here. But all they have is pick lock, so I think it's good to dispute this, and then you might as well take the connive trigger
Yeah,
this turn. Yeah.
because it's hard to dispute a treasure cruise, so it's kind of
Right.
weird. Also, they were like, yeah, they should. I don't know. It's like kind of weird, but I was like, it makes a treasure token. I don't like. Also, like then they only have 4 cards in hand and like no graveyard, so it seemed good to dispute this. I
Yeah.
get a Jwari, one of the worst spells in the deck. Oh, I discarded Axe here because this way I could get my guy into 6 toughness range more easily. Obviously, Spire Bluff's not great. But actually, I don't hate Spire Bluff because what I said about hitting land drops.
Yeah,
And
I mean, the second Lightning Axe is kind of dead, right? So
okay.
I think that was fine.
Oh, this is a classic. Are they going to cast Picklock? No, they cast Shredder, so they wanted to deny me a connive.
I would
Okay.
probably pieces, leave up blue mana, and pass
Yeah,
the
they
turn.
have
That's
one
what I would.
card left. Yeah, I think that's what I did here. I cast Pieces with Dispute up. Um, I'm just looking at here. Yeah, I kind of like this because if you axe, then your turn's just really mana inefficient. So you
You don't
can't.
really want to discard any of these cards. I mean, like you probably discard
I mean, you
Jwari,
could
right?
discard a
To
tap land, one of the tap lands.
yeah,
But the
discard one
problem
of the
with
tap lands.
axes is, yeah, the problem with axing is you just lose a lot of tempo because you can't really pieces at. So it's just you kind of just have to pieces for the mana efficiency. They dispute.
Yeah, and
This
like
isn't
now
even
the
really a
pieces
good connive. They have no cards
resolve.
in hand. Yeah. And worth noting, they have no cards in hand if they have a counter spell, so it's like not even that good of a connive. I had to like they need to draw like a treasure cruise or something. Although you can see here, like they had like 2 picklocks, but the picklocks they just don't have any cards in hand. I don't know. Control low. Um, I just fork the consider because I have no cards left.
Yeah, I agree. You have a Phoenix, right? So yeah.
I didn't have a Phoenix at
Oh,
that time, but
well,
then oh, I did. Okay, I can't see. Yeah, pretty straightforward stuff, I guess.
ooh.
Well, the thing here that was good is that they have no cards in hand. I guess I could
Yeah,
have
they
drawn.
can't. They can't even like top deck pieces from this point. It's yeah, like it's
But
just fine for you that they take 2 turns.
I guess this shows like how good Time Walk combo is, though. Like the fact that they could conceivably win from here, even though I'm like was. I guess I'm not that ahead, but I have like an extra land in play. Like, yeah. Anyway, I think they like scoop soon.
Well, that's kind of interesting. Like maybe you shouldn't have attacked with all your Phoenixes and been more defensive, but I like
Yeah.
the attack.
Though they also had like 0 cards in hand, but yeah. I mean, I just didn't think that much, to be honest. I mean, they could still technically win here, like if they like drew a
Wait, what is
cruise.
this timing? Why did we do this with the dispute on the stack? I guess it just doesn't
I
matter
think I wanted to
actually.
like return my Phoenix. I don't know. I don't know what I did on this. Was it on the stack? So I don't collect clicks for my
Yeah, it
combat.
just doesn't matter.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's over. Um, 1 second after this game, I need to take like a 2-minute break. 1 second. I'll just stop.